abandonó, puertorriqueño.
Está tu papá ahora.
No me importa.
Ok.
No me importa, mi mamá me crió mexicana.
Pero tú triunfaste en la vida, ¿no?
¿Qué puedes triunfar?
¿Con tu papá o sin tu papá?
Mi mamá me crió mexicana, inmigrante.
Yo, picture this. You got fools online, messing around with shadows they don't even know. Think they're tough, think they're slick, till they cross the wrong flow. Like El Parada, young star with the big mouth, flashing fame, but he slid in the wrong route. El Cheno thought he'd roll hard, trying to stunt, but the cartel didn't play. They ran up, pull the front. And it's tragic, but the lesson here, fam wanna test the streets, better understand the jam. This ain't no rap beef, no diss on a track. This is real life for life, no taking it back. We know the rap game is all about showing strength, flexing your power, calling out your rivals. But what happens when a rapper gets too bold, taking shots at Mexican cartels? This ain't your ordinary beef. These crews don't just diss back, they strike hard, and they strike for real. Today, we're digging into the rappers who thought they could call out the most dangerous names south of the border, only to find out there's no diss track in the world that can protect you from what comes next. El Perico, born Juan Ramirez, grew up where every day was a fight for survival. The streets were tough, but his rhymes were tougher. From high school battles to his first gig, he climbed fast, carving a name with his relentless energy and a voice that wouldn't quit. Fans were drawn to him. They loved his fearless attitude, his refusal to hold back. But for El Perico, fame wasn't enough. He wanted more, wanted to own the street cred that came with respect. So he started dropping references, dangerous ones, slipping cartel names into his lines, spitting about running the scene like he was one of them. He thought it was a flex, a badge of honor, but those who knew the streets warned him, said he was digging his own grave. Friends told him, even his family worried, but El Perico thought he was unstoppable. The day he dropped a track that called out a major cartel leader by name, it was game over. Weeks later, he vanished. Just like that, a rising star, gone. His lyrics became a chilling reminder. Talking big has a price. Young Shadow was another artist coming up alongside El Perico. They'd performed together, shared a couple tracks. So when El Perico's life ended, Young Shadow took it personal. Instead of laying low, he went online, dropped posts and videos saying he wasn't afraid of any cartel, he'd ride out for his homie. For a minute, fans were cheering him on, saying he was brave, that he was keeping it real. But Young Shadow had no idea what he was stirring up. Days later, he disappeared too. Another rapper thought he was unbreakable, but the streets, they proved him wrong. His boldness came at the ultimate cost. Illuminati 6 was that rapper who lived for shock value. He'd go all out in his tracks, calling out anyone and everyone, even if it didn't make sense. But then one day, he decided to take a big risk. He dropped a line straight up challenging the cartel, thinking he'd go viral. At first, he thought it was funny, thought his fans would see it as a joke. But when the threats started pouring in, he realized he'd gone too far. Suddenly, he was online again, posting frantic apologies, begging for forgiveness. But it was too late. The cartel doesn't laugh. And while he got away with his life, his rep, that was crushed. In the end, he learned fame don't protect you when you're playing with fire. D-Money was the king of flexin'. He had it all, money, cars, the spotlight. So one day, he thought it'd be funny to flex by dissing the cartels, saying they don't scare him. Man, he thought he was untouchable, but just one post from the cartel and his world flipped. His fans turned on him, and his fame fell hard. It didn't cost him his life, but his career, that was over. All that clout, that wealth, but no shield to protect him from the real players in the game. Now let's talk Lorena. She was a legend in the Latin rap scene, started off lighthearted and fun. She had a way of spitting bars with power, but kept it cool. But as her fame grew, she started dropping lines on cartel activities, exposing some of the secrets no one dared speak on. Friends warned her, even the community tried to pull her back. But she wouldn't stop, thought her voice could make a difference. And just like that, one day, her story ended. Her death shocked everyone, became a warning that no matter how talented or famous, even legends gotta respect the rule of the streets. Social media makes people feel invincible, like they can diss and dodge. But here's the truth. When you're messing with a world as real and as ruthless as the cartel, it's not about followers. It's about survival. These stories are real lessons in knowing your limits, in understanding that just because you can rap it doesn't mean you should. Respect is everything in the streets, and no level of fame changes that. So next time someone thinks they can call out the wrong names for clout, remember, these games come with no second chances. 669 Yan is known for his wild hair, louder-than-life persona, and a mouth that rarely stays shut. He's no stranger to beef, and has made a name by calling out just about anyone. But when 6699 decided to throw shade at cartel business, even indirectly, the situation got hot real quick. He might have thought he was untouchable, hidden behind the fame and his usual controversy. But the cartel's reach doesn't care about views or fame. Soon after, 669 went silent on the topic, dropping any reference that even hinted at cartel life. He understood fast that this was a different kind of heat, the kind that follows you when the cameras are off. This wasn't just for show, it was about survival. His experience became another story, a lesson that not all attention is good attention, especially when you're poking at forces much bigger and meaner than clout can protect you from. Lil Durk, a name that carries weight in Chicago and beyond. He's been through his share of real-life drama, grew up around street violence, and built his career on authenticity. But fame has a funny way of making you feel invincible. One day, Durk dropped a line that brushed up against the cartel's business. Nothing direct, but enough to catch attention. He thought it was just a metaphor, a way to let everyone know he doesn't back down. But the cartel doesn't play with metaphors. Word got around, and Durk started noticing extra eyes watching him, messages that weren't just from fans. He pulled back quickly, realizing that in this game, you don't need to directly name names to provoke a response. His story became a quiet lesson in respecting unseen boundaries, a reminder that some lines aren't worth crossing, no matter how tough you think you are. Big Money Rock was all about the bling, the cars, and the high life. His tracks were filled with references to the gangster lifestyle. But one day, he crossed a line even he couldn't come back from. Rock released a song that seemed to challenge the very operations of a major cartel, acting as if he was untouchable. In his mind, the cartel would ignore him, thinking he was just another rapper. But the cartel didn't ignore him. They sent a warning through his manager, telling him to stay silent or face the consequences. Rock tried to play it cool, dismissing it as a scare tactic. But one night, after a show, his entourage was attacked, sending a clear message. Rock survived but lost his career momentum and reputation as someone willing to risk everything for clout. Think before you rhyme. Respect the lines you cross. Fame can't save you from the choices you make. If you're real about that, hit like, hit subscribe, and stay sharp out there.